They made every page learn you. The Torah's tape is taking you.
All right, screwing it on.
So, look at this is Perek Yesh. So it has to do with it has to do with inheritance. Now, the particular portion that we're talking about has to do with inheriting what you have the Bachar, the oldest child, that inherits, and how do they inherit? They inherit double portion with the portion. So because we're on the topic of eldest and inheritance, that brings us to the subject of Yaakov and his sons, specifically Reuben, who was the oldest, and Yosef, who ended up getting the inheritance. The double portion, Yosef was treated as the Bechar in the matter of the double portion. Really, today we see that Reuben is the firstborn from Leah. So we're going to go to the two dots right over here. Right over here. We're going to talk about some discussions regarding these. And we're going to get some very beautiful, enlightening, and insightful Mashal is going to warn you about these as well. So here we got all those are Baba Basra. Yeah, those two here. We got plenty. This one here. Nobody needs to share it. We got 8 Baba Basra.
That's for the studio
For the studio audience. For the viewers at home.
Yeah, viewers at home.
Those of you following along at home, we're trying to. Everybody, it's good to follow along. You know, sometimes they go kind of fast, but if your eyes can read, just read off the script, Dave. Don't improvise. Ba'minei Rachel ben Rabbi Shmuel Banachmani. So Rabbi asked from Shmuel Banachmani, Ma ra'a Yaakov. Everybody got it?
What did Yaakov see?
What did Yaakov see? Should not the Bechayim Reuven, but not from the Yosef. That he took the right to the firstborn from Reuben and he gave it to Yosef. Can we say Yosef got the double portion? How specifically? His son, he got Ephraim and Manasseh. Everybody was just one tribe. Yosef turns into 2 tribes. Ephraim and Manasseh. So that's one area of double portion.
How did Yosef turn into 2 tribes?
As Ephraim and Manasseh. Yaakov blessed Yosef that your sons Ephraim and Manasseh will be like me, like my own sons, and now they'll be each considered one tribe.
Ephraim and Manasseh was Joseph's kids?
We're Yosef's 2 sons. So what did Yaakov see? Why did Yaakov give the firstborn right, primogeniture, from Reuben and take it from Reuben? Give it to Yosef. Mara. So in fact, the Gemara asked, Shmuel Barachman asked, Mara. What do you mean? Why did he see? We learned right that Reuben did a sin. That he took out the bad from that was in Rachel's the maidser and put it in his mother's tent. He messed around with you don't mess around with the tzadik's bed. See if it's written. Elok. So that's why I said Mara should not sell the Yosef. So why? All right. So that explains why Reuben may have gotten punished. But why was Yosef the recipient then? Why did he benefit?
Why not Shimon?
Right, why not Shimon? That's Shimon.
He's the next one.
He's pretty much the most awesome one. I mean, if you look at the text clearly, every story of Shimon is pretty awesome. Kuf Chav Gimel. Amud Aleph, about a third of the way down by the 2 dots. So why Yosef Dafkin did he get it? So he says, I'm going to, so he says, I'll give you a mashal. I'll give you an example. I'll give you a mashal. What is this like? What is this as if? This is Labal bias. There's a guy who raised an orphan in his house. So he takes care of his kid, he gives him food and drink and everything, and it really helps him out. So the young, when the kid gets older, this orphan, he himself becomes wealthy. And he says, this Baal Bayis who helped me out all these years, I'm going to give him something. So what is that? So who's who? So Rashi says, if you look at the Rashi, where is it? Yosef, right? In the middle of the page, Yosef, he says that's referring to Yaakov. Because by the time Yaakov gets to Eretz Mitzrayim, he's really lost. You know, he's got to go. I got to pick up and leave. I have laid my foundation on the show. Now I go to down to Egypt. Yosef is there, and Yosef is the ruler. That's the second command. He's in charge of all the warehouses, all the stores. He has all the wealth now. So Yaakov is the orphan being helped out by Yosef in the analogy, in the mashal, right? Yaakov is the guy being helped out by the Bala. He's Yosef being helped out by the Bala. Yosef is sort of like the owner of the house, you know, the patron there, and he's. For 17 years, he hooks up. He helps Yaakov out. Yaakov went from famine to Yisrael, and now he went to all this wealth in Egypt. The courtesy of Yosef. So at the end of the day, he says, "Oh, I gotta pay. Now that things are good, now I have something to give. I should pay Yosef back." So that's why I'll give Yosef the bachar. We know why Reuben lost it. Fine, he did a sin. So but why did he now give it to Yosef? Because of that, let's say so now he could have given the card to whoever he wants. He gives it to Yosef because Yosef helps him out. Back into the Gemara. Amalei. So pregnant. So Shmuel. So Rechila says back to Shmuel. But we love the Chot Reuben. Loy mahani lei Yosef lei Midav. Now he says, okay, you're giving me a nice mashal, but what if Reuben didn't sin? I wouldn't give anything. He wouldn't give anything to Yosef at the end of the day because Yosef helps him out so much when they go to Egypt. If Reuben didn't sin and he would still keep the cart, Yosef would have had to give something, right? He wouldn't give it. He would have to. He had to acknowledge Joseph's the kindness and he gave him all the sustenance and nourishment. So what would happen then? What if Reuben didn't sin? Then Yosef wouldn't have God necessarily. Hello, Rabbi Yonason. I said to him, Rabbi Yonason, I said, you're your teacher. Like Chachamar. He doesn't say like he says. He says the reason it's like this. It didn't have that whether Reuben said or didn't say. This helps it out. Yosef was fitting for the Becharas. Why? Because it was actually Rachel who was supposed to have the first child. Yaakov goes to Lavan. He sees Rachel. He says, I'm going to marry her. He says, all right, work for 7 years, fine, no problem. Okay, his all intent is that he's starting having the shvatim. He's going to marry Rachel. His first child, obviously, as far as he concerned, obviously not just going to be from Rachel. So Rachel was supposed to end up having that first child. But because of the circumstances and Lavan's trickery, it didn't happen that way. But Rachel was fitting Rachel to have the Bechor. So which would have been, who is Rachel's first child? Yosef. So technically, Yosef should have been that first child, and he got the Bechor. Dichtiv, as it says, not only that, the pasuk says, it says the Chumash, Eile Terlis Yaakov Yosef. These are the generations of Yaakov, and the first person that says is Yosef. All sons. So really fits Yosef back to being part of Yaakov as the Bechor. But what happened? Why did Leah end up getting it? Because she preceded her with mercy. And because of the tznius that she had with Rachel, the firstbornship went back. Right? So what was Leah's Rachman? So the Gemara says, "Ma'ikad Masal Leah Rachman." What does it mean? Leah preceded her with its mercy. It says, "The Eine Leah Rakish." We learned this in yesterday's Chumash that the eyes of Leah were very, 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 very shy. They were very, very poor. They were very, very soft. You could say Rakish soft, but they were not disfigured, but they were very affected, and it kind of marred her appearances somewhat.
Leah was pretty.
Right. So on the pshat of the Chumash, sure, they're all beautiful. But in the pshat of the Chumash, you see that any Rakish is considered a blemish. The Rakish eyes. So what really happened? How can you say the any Rakish? My Rakish. What's affecting my? What is Rakish? Ilay Rakish mamish. Could you say really that they were affected negatively? That actually this is a physical affliction against the eye that makes it look bad? So the Gemara says a very famous question. Extra begnus. How could the Torah say something negative about this woman here? We talk about that the Torah goes out of its way not to speak negatively, even about an animal. For sure, it's not going to say you can't look at the pshat of the Chumash and say that any leirakas means that there was a physical negative blemish of her eyes that caused her demar appearance. You cannot say that because the Torah doesn't talk bad like that, as we all know.
They're trying to make a distinction between Rachel and Leah, because like the
So then what does it say?
So what does it say?
Obviously, it has some meaning deeper than
The pasuk word, the Chumash don't even talk negatively about an impure animal. It won't even call it impure. It'll go out of its way, as we all learned in the Chumash and Noach, and we had the Ticha, and we learned now in Gemara Pesachim. The Chtiva that's written Mina Behema HaTahira Umina Behema Asher Einena Tahira, instead of saying Tameh, it goes out of its way as 8 extra letters, and the Chumash is very precise. Hashem, infinite wisdom. The word of Hashem doesn't grasp for words and just kind of make flowery and just add like an and ha and and all like the way I do. It's very specific. Every letter is exact. So for the Torah to add extra letters, not to talk negatively about an animal, for sure it wouldn't talk negatively about a person, especially the imai, especially Leah, the holy Leah. It's our great grandmother. So beganut tzadikim davar akasim. For sure, it wouldn't talk negatively about a tzaddik. But the Rav Elazar comes to his answer. What does it mean? That her gifts were lengthy. When Rashi says she was given a special gift now, that the aruchas, look at the Rashi down here at the bottom, about 5 lines from the bottom, aruchas, her gifts were very large, which what? Kahuna ulavia. The Levi, Yatzim Imenu, Levi comes from her, and he's the Kahuna, and the Levia. That's amazing gifts, right? When the Chumash talks about, in Parsha Shemai, when it talks about Yocheved and Miriam, right? It talks about the gifts that Hashem gave to them for listening to Hashem. It talks about the great gifts. It says specifically, Kahuna Levia. These are awesome gifts. So that's he says, don't read it as Rachis, but read it as Aruchas, which is lengthy and great.
They always say, when they talk about spheres, they always say Rachel's spheres. I think Rachel's Malchus and Leah's actually spheres. Even though they're saying she's not that pretty, whatever, but I think Leah's spheres, because she's the one that gives birth to all the midas. She's giving birth to all the tribes, all the Shvatim are coming through Leah.
Right, so Kabbalistically, we look at Leah, it's represented by Bino, which goes connected to Pharisee, which can go down the mountain. So there are ways of reorganizing it and requalifying it. But at the end of the day, when it says that it's every midah, every sphere includes all the other spheres. So there are aspects of the character that shine more in a particular way than another specific character. This particular thing will shine, even though they could both have the same primary traits. The secondary traits can come out in certain ways where that they can be more dominant. But I don't want to. I want to get into that conversation. But right now, I just want to focus on this, and we'll. So, what else comes from Leah? Yehuda, the marvelous. Both of your names are in today's Chumash, by the way. Yehuda and Naphtali are born in today's Chumash.
It's my birthday.
Very nice. Your birthday. Happy birthday. Interesting enough, 8 of Yaakov's sons are born in today's Chumash, right? And 1 year, my father had his birthday this time of year. 1 year, his birthday came out. It was on Tuesday. It was the base kids, and he had 8 sons, 10 hearts. So I was like, wow, that's a big. Your birthday also, Shimon. Anyway, So back into the Gemara. So Rabbi Elazar translates this as Einer Rakish means Aruchis. The Jew was given these great gifts, lengthy that go on forever. The Kahuna and the Leviah are everlasting, and the Malchus David from Malchus Yehuda is everlasting. It says that the scepter shall never leave from under Yehuda. The Yehuda always be the kingship of the Jews. Back into the Gemara. Rav Amar. Now Rav said. This shot should be Rav. He said, no. That's a nice drush, but you should you should interpret it as an actual affected. Her eyes were afflicted in some way. But like an eye, but not. This isn't a negative thing that it's saying. This is a praiseworthy thing that the Torah is telling about Leah. That her eyes are rakish. Why? Ela Shebach, it's a praiseworthy. Shahayis Shemas, because what happened? Shahayis Shemas aprashu derachim. She would hear out in the streets, Bnei Adam, the people that knew, that traveled back and forth, and they knew where Yaakov lived, and from Yitzchak, they knew about Rivka, and they knew who Laban. Then what would they do? The Bnei Adam they would say the following: Shnei banim yesh la Rivka, shnei banis yesh la Laban. Rivka has got 2 sons. Laban has 2 daughters. Boom! Shidduch time, no problem. Finally, crisis over. The oldest one of each sibling will go to the other person's oldest, and then the others go to the other person. So Leah would hear this, and she would ask them, what are they like? These 2 sons of Rivka. Gadol, what's the older one like? It says, Me'esav, that's Esav. And what about him? Ishrahu, he's an evil guy. Melastim Brias, he steals from people. She said, okay, Katan Ma. I'm sorry, Gadol Ma Masav. Ishrahu, Melastim Brias. Now, Katan Ma Masav, what are his deeds? What's he like? Ishtam, Yeshu Bailam, he's a pure guy. He sits in the tent of Torah all day. Gahaisa Baicha, and Leah would cry so much from this. Achinishu would be safe now until her eyelids were fall out. Behind the Steve, and that's what it says today's Chumash. Vayar Hashem kisenu Leah, and Hashem sees that Leah is hated. My snua. What does it mean that it's hated? Wait, how can you say that she was hated? In the negativity of a behemoth, any negative traits, it wouldn't say even about an animal in the Chumash. So it would say a negative trait about a tzaddik. Bitmia. So so the question is it talking about Leah or is it talking about Yaakov? Who would be the Leah or you could say Leah was hated the way you could say like an animal's coming. Right? So maybe it's about Leah. So the Genutz for sure wouldn't say after the Torah. So what does this have to mean? What does we have to say this means something? It means something slightly different. So what does it say? It says God saw that she was hit. What's Hashem see? That the actions of Esav were hateful to her. She heard about Esav, and she cries about that. This is Russia. That's what the hatred is. Like she did not Esav, incidentally, not Esav, the mice of Esav. Don't pray for the death of the wicked, but for the death of their sins. That's what Meir's wife tells the Meir. Incidentally, we were just talking about them the other day. She hates the deeds of Esav. So then what happens? Hashem has mercy on her. Vayiftach Ezrach, opens up the womb. And she has the children she has. Now, my tznias ha'itzabah Rachel, we said earlier, that she had the Rachamim and the tznias for Rachel. What tznias did she have with Rachel? Dichtiv, and it says, today's Chumash again. I'm sorry. Yesterday's Chumash. Vayaged Yaakov l'Rachel ki achi avihu.
So we say that when you feel pain.
Yaakov says to Rachel when he meets her, "I am your father's brother." Direct the Gemara, B'chi ben Rivka. He's not his father's brother. He's the son of Rivka, who is Valai ben Achis avihu. He's the son of the sister of her father, not her father, not her brother. She's not her uncle. He's her nephew, your cousin. Elam Allah, but he says like this. When I say I'm your father's brother, I mean I can play his game. Minisfasli Amalei in. He says to her, will you marry me? He says, yeah, he proposed to her. She said, yeah. Yeah, me, however, Abraham, my father's a tricky guy. He's not a very honest, he's not an honest man. And he won't let me because he won't let the youngest marry before the oldest. So he says to her, oops. Let's keep the line. What is the trickery? What is it? So he says, the kashisha minoi. I have an older sister. Now he won't let me get married before him. So then that's when he says to her, I'm your father's brother. I'm his brother in trickery. I can play that game. I can get around. I know how to get around that. Amalei says to Yaakov, is it proper for a tzaddik to be involved with trickery? You're a tzaddik. You tell me that you can play a lover's game. Don't take to that level. Don't be involved in that dishonesty. I don't think it's fitting for a tzaddik to do that. You're a tzaddik. So is this proper? Just then, yeah, of course. Shmuel Beis Chav Beis. Never to taber, akish to tough. If you got this, you should. Someone's trying to mess up and mess you over. You should deal with them accordingly. So what happens? Master lost Simanim. He gives her signs. Says for the night, I'm going to make sure that he's not fooling me and to put anyone else in there. Here's some signs to let us know that it's us, right? It's only secret between you and me. These are signs of the wedding night that we'll have, so that we'll know that it's Yaakov and Rachel, not anything else. Now, when these Rachel sees that Lavan indeed puts Leah under there in the chuppah, Svara, she says, "Oi, hashta michtzavach achtoi." Now my sister's going to get embarrassed. It's going to be absolutely humiliating for her. Yaakov's going to find out. It's going to grow up. There's going to be hope. Poor girl. It's not her fault. My father's an evil guy. My poor, she's going to get absolutely humiliated if it was her. Yeah.
Doesn't Leah know what's going on here?
No, this is a conversation between Rachel and Yaakov, like when they're first meeting at the well. But does you know what you mean later on by the wedding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Leah's she knows that Yaakov's supposed to marry her sister.
Yeah, but Lama goes, you want to live? This is what you do. Put on this gown. Put on this veil. Go down the chuppah now.
Go down that hole.
Yeah, he's not, wasn't a great father. You can see that later on. When Yaakov meets him in the field to get ready to leave, they're like, what kind of father is this? He's disowned us. He sold us to you for 14 years of work. He sold us to you like this. He doesn't pay us attention. We're like property for him. So she says, "Oh, my sister's going to get embarrassed." So misatinahu ninehela, and so she gives over the simanim to her. Rachel gives the simanim that she had secretly had with Yaakov. She tells Leah what they are, so that she won't be embarrassed. That's why Pasuk says, "Vayehi b'bayker v'hine Leah." And when he gets up in the morning, and the morning time, but behold, this is Leah.
What's the siman?
I don't know exactly what they are, but I'm not sure exactly what they are. But he gave a siman. It's a secret. Only Yaakov and Rachel, and then Leah knew. We don't know. We're not into that secret. That's why it's called a secret. Anyway. So Yaakov, he tells the morning, behold, Leah. So, by the fact that it says, that until that point, according to Yaakov, as far as you're concerned, it wasn't Leah. And let me take some money, but because of the simanim that Yaakov had given to Rachel, and then she gave more to Leah, so he didn't know until he actually saw her in the daylight that it was Leah.
He's like, "Where are my glasses?" Sorry.
Yeah.
Wait, it was in like he lived in a tent though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So now we're going to go to the Mashal, and the Mashal is going to give us some beauty, the Geschmack explanations, some of this, what's going on here. Kufchof Gimel Amadal. Yeah. All right. So we got the Mashal over here. The page kind of looks something like this. We're going to go to the one. We're going to start.
Wait, that's it. Go ahead.
No way.
What page are we on? What page are we on? I'll give it.
So we'll start with this one. Let's say it's miracle that indeed the firstborn was actually supposed to have come out from Rachel. Marsha. You're about to see. Let me have that. This has the Mukhi Yosef. Yeah, it's actually here. Test. Oh, it's a shot. Earlier, a shot. That's. No. Safaria does have a good printer, not this very complex.
I don't know if they have
So we're going to start from this one in the middle here. Rubuya. Is it Rubuya? Rubuya, it's in the middle of the page, right? Everybody got it? Yeah, I got it. You guys got it? Marsha, beauty. Kufla Mataz, earlier. Maybe something around here. Beauty. Okay, so we're going to start to the ear. Oh, yeah. So the Lechura, the Bechara should have went to Rachel. She should have had the first child because, you know. That's the quote from the Gemara. End quote. So Mavur Bereishis Rabba, the Reish Rabba explains, Eila told us Yaakov for Reuven. The Gemara Havle Lameimer should have said Eila told us Yaakov for Reuven. Should start from Reuven. Who were the generations of Yaakov? The offspring of Reuven. Mavur Shakol Atzmai Shal Yaakov Loy Ovad Ela Berachel. It says that Yaakov, all the work he did was Davka for Rachel. He did 7 years for Rachel, and then he didn't get him, so he did another 7 years. So the entire time of working for Laban was for Rachel. So that's what it says. It explains that why the Bechara should give it.
How many years was he working for her?
14 years.
Like Jerry Kushner.
No, was it 20?
He was there for a total of 20 years.
He was working all those?
Working all the day. All right, now we're going to go down the next two. Now we're going to go to Shemat Neseha. About her, incidentally, I forgot to point out, at this point in the Gemara in Baba Basra, this is the Rashbam, this is not Rashi anymore, it's his grandson. Either they didn't have the text, were not in extent, or they got lost, or Rashi didn't have time, wasn't able to complete it before in his lifetime. So anyway, so that's why the Mashal says, what was the great, the lengthy thing? The Rakis is great and long. Melashon Aruch, Mamash. He translates Rakis as Aruch. Kahai Gavin Adashim Bereshus Rabash. Shemek Tana Rachel. Tana B'mat Neisah. Why was the smaller one called Rachel? She was smaller in her the matas that she got. Why? Because Yosef was Shashal. Yosef was king only for a little bit. Right? Then ended up becoming his offspring, becoming kings for everyone. Shaul was from the tribe of Binyamin, also from Rachel, also the Shaul the Shaul. He also only ruled one thing. Her children ruled, but not aruch, not length, not forever. They had one term or whatever, you know. There was a one shot deal, one hit wonder. Yosef for a little bit, and then Binyamin Shaul, the king Shaul was the first king, but after that, everybody was from Yehuda, officially. Sheila, which was also in the portion of Yosef the Shah, also was for only a little bit where the basically the Mishkan was there. So everything that Rachel, the greatness that Rachel's children had was only a temporary one. As opposed to Leah, but they say Malchus Kahuna Hulidardes, the gifts that she got of the kingship and the Kahuna, that was forever. Of a Kashafia Drash, but the Marsha said that's nice, but it's a drush. Rakis is still, it's missing an aleph if you want to do it. You want to try the Rakis Aruch. That's not how you spell it. You're missing a letter. Rakis Chasur aleph. The first outcome was Kassav Evan Ezer. Vanilla Farsh, Nidus Farsh, and Rakis are Kassav Melashon Leit, though he wants to explain another way. Rakis still can mean great. Melashon Leideka V'Lei Barik. The Perek HaShutin, Shu Melashon Gedela V'Chashivas. That's the Lashon Rekas Gedela V'Chashivas. Shemant they say Chashuvas Kahuna Levia Mach. That the gifts she got were very important. Chashuv, like Kahuna and the Levia and the royalty. Next, Marsha, based on Hayu, let's go. Rivka had two sons. Bnei Adam Hayu Imram came. That's the way people talking about. Lefisha Hayu Medaki Avaisenu Avram VeYitzchak Lechur Shalayilisha Isha Kiima Bnei Mishpachto. Why would people say that? Oh, Rivka has two sons and Laban has two daughters. Who cares? Why would they think there's going to be shit up there? Because they knew already it was the derech of Avram and Yitzchak, the Avisenu, to marry within their family. Avram Nasa ben Charan, because Avram Bas Charan, Avram married the daughter of his brother. Gam is Bias Eliezer, and also he makes Eliezer swear. Yitzchak Benai, Rag Mishbach. They don't let Yitzchak marry anyone except from his family. Cain, that's what they said. Gam Benai Yitzchak. So for sure, the son of Yitzchak, he's for sure going to have the same conditions. Make sure that they only marry in a family. That's why they start talking about Laban and his daughters. That's what will marry the daughters. Right? Umisvara Amru Shalei Yipso Rak Elu Banais Lavan. And they say that only talking about these daughters of Lavan and the older one to the older son of basically Asaph the Leah, the Akhilah. Rish Amr Shakach Tanaim, that he says actually Rish Rav said that was the conditions that that they gave to Rivka when she left, that her children married to her. Anyway, so now we say next Mashah. Or you want to say that it's actually that she was hated. The Mashah said, we had a big question. The Talmud Lemon, the